What's up, guys? Another episode of Know Your Word TV. I'm your host. If you haven't seen this beautiful any of the episodes, you want to go back and see them. But if you're watching again, I thank you so much. Continue to like and share and subscribe because that's the only way that we continue to grow this platform. But if this is your first time, welcome. We have somebody special, somebody that I've met. Can't remember, maybe a couple years ago, man. And this dude was so amazing, and I knew I had to interview him because he's going to drop gems today. Mr. Josh, how you doing?
Excellent, sir. Honor to be here. Yeah, we met way back improv days, right?
Improv days, man. Listen, people don't realize that's the work that you got to put in, right? Like we learn from these things to do hosting, to go out there and brand, to go out there and build businesses. People don't see that part, but today you're going to tell us all about it, right?
Absolutely. I want people to bring improv back to their lives. I want them to bring their human side back to their businesses and their careers. Heck yeah.
Absolutely. So, Josh, kind of let's start with introducing yourself. Who is Josh? What is it that you do? What makes you special?
Ooh,
Because you are
yeah.
special.
Those are good questions. Those are fantastic questions. So you've heard the phrase that we don't get a second chance to make a first impression, right?
Yep.
Well, there's too many really good, talented professionals out there that never get a first chance to make that second impression. Where you get to sit down and share your gift with someone and get a new client and advance your career and get to that next stage. Man, I'm on a mission to stop that. I'm on a mission to help people go from their first impression to have this beautiful brand and get to that second impression where they now get to go and get paid what they're worth. They're really out there able to share their value, get compensated in return, and just get to that next level in life. That's what it's about.
Amazing. And that's really what intrigued me about what you do. I remember sitting down with you and you kind of sharing that. But let's kind of go and backtrack on how you got there because prior to that, you were in the corporate world for a couple of years. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. I was actually born. I say I was a soldier growing up. I was the good soldier. I did everything I was told to do. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Go to school, get all these freaking degrees, get the safe, secure job, quote unquote, right? Which is no longer safe nor secure.
Yep.
And yeah, man, I spent 20 years in corporate America as a shy, negative, skeptical, introverted engineer.
Showed up
And
on time, didn't take
yeah,
vacations,
put
stayed
into my
later.
401k. Yeah, I did all that stuff.
Yep.
And
Yeah. So
then
let's talk
one,
about it, man. Go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I was gonna say one day, everything I thought was right wasn't so right. I wasn't as wealthy as I wanted to be. I wasn't as happy as I needed to be, and I wasn't free. By the way, that's my favorite F word now is freedom. I had a different favorite F word back then, but now it's free.
Back in your corporate job, I can imagine. I can imagine. So, all right.
Yeah.
So let's kind of backtrack. You spent 20 years in corporate America. You were the best employee probably in the whole business that you're in. And something clicked. What was it that clicked for you? Was it something at work? Was it something that someone has said? What was that moment for you?
Yeah, I remember it vividly. So yeah, by the way, I was kind of the model employee. I grew up in the company. Like I got promoted and promoted, and I was like the company success story. And then one day, a friend of mine says, "Hey, what's your retirement plan?" I'm like, "Retirement plan? I got a 401k. I'm good. I'm stuffing a bunch of money into it. I'm sure it's going to work." And he's like, "How sure are you? Did you do the math?" It's like, "Oh, okay, let me go do the math, right? I'm an engineer. I'm not afraid of
Yeah.
numbers, but I never did the math. So what I did is I projected it out. I said, okay, what's this going to look like in 30 years when I go to retire? Guess what? Mathematically impossible to retire on it.
Absolutely.
I was like, do you think I was mad, dude? But you know what? I was mad at that. But let me tell you what pissed me off. What pissed me off is the 401k wasn't supposed to be a retirement plan. I wasn't supposed to know that until it was too late.
Yes.
That right there set me off. I was like, wait a minute, if I got lied to about this, what else am I missing out there? What am I missing about success and happiness and health and all these other areas where I just took the hook, right? I just bought the lies because I was just following orders. And I stopped. I said, I got to find out what life is really about. Why are successful people successful? Why are happy people happy? And I just opened up all the cabinet doors, man. I just started diving into books and resources and coaches, and I escaped. I got out of there.
You escape. What was the first book or first course or what was the first thing that you did?
The first book that was probably one of the most impactful books I did for personal development was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. And I highly recommend that if anyone wants to start their personal development journey. What a fantastic book.
How did it make you feel?
In control for the first time in my life. It was the first book that actually described it. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it was like a circle of control. And then there's the circle of concern. So circle of control, things that you control directly. Circle of concern, which is much bigger, are things you care about, but you can't control necessarily. And for the first time in my life, I realized I have control over everything, over direct things, and then over my attitude and my mindset towards everything else.
So I'm going to go back. You left your job, 20 years. You're probably the top employee. I'm pretty sure they're devastated. What was the response? What was their response?
They didn't believe me at first. I actually remember going into my boss's office. His name is Alex. And I said, Alex, you guys got to find my replacement. I'm leaving. And he just had this look on his face. Like he was looking around, like he thought I was punking him. He's like, he was almost like looking for the cameras. Like, is this a joke? Like, and I'm like, no, seriously, like I'll give you 3 months. I'm not going to give you 2 weeks. I owe you more than that, but I'm going to give you 3 months and that's all you got. And they still didn't believe me until the day I left, because they didn't even try and find my replacement until I left. Then they found someone really fast, but I think they were trying to call my bluff. They didn't believe it.
And have you been back when you left corporate? Have you been back at all to any gigs, or you found the way and you've made it happen?
Oh, I found a lot of ways to fail since then. I'm not here to paint like this rosy picture, like everything went swimmingly perfect and great. But I've avoided so far going back, and no plans whatsoever.
Okay, so you said fail. What are some of the failures that you've experienced on your journey?
Oh man, I left there with an employee mindset. I had started my personal development journey, so I was already transitioning my mindset. But let's be honest, I still had an employee mindset, a very fixed mindset. And I had to learn entrepreneurship. So I got into different industries and I failed. Some success, some failures, struggled, and luckily had good mentors, kept pedaling, let's say, right? Kept pedaling the bike.
Yep.
Never giving up, which is the key. And I started developing my self-worth, little by little, raising my identity until I got to a point where I actually believed I deserved success. And that's when things really start to change.
And through that journey, because I believe, right, any successful person would tell you that there's failures through it. You just don't see it. I think nowadays we have social media. You see obviously all the good stuff, not someone really sharing those things they've had to overcome. But has there been a moment through those failures that you felt, did I make the right decision and should I go back?
Of course, man. Dude, success feels like failure every step of the way.
Yeah.
It does. And here's the lie we're told. If you're here in the middle, we're told success is over here and failure's on the other side. So just run away from failure and run towards success. That is the biggest lie that I bought for many decades. But the truth is, you're over here, and then success is over here, and then failure's in between. The only way to get to success is through failure. You can't avoid it. The only way to avoid failure is to not do anything, and then you avoid success at the same time.
No, true. I was listening to someone yesterday. He was saying how people are so comfortable with pain. And I was like, wow, you're right. And like you said, you were at a job. You had a different favorite F word.
Yeah.
There was pain in there somewhere, but you didn't realize it, that you were comfortable in that situation or that you were in the wrong situation until someone kind of put that bug in your ear, right? And then it kind of clicked. You did your research, you did your numbers, and then realized like, wow, what am I going to do that, what am I going to do next? How long has it been since you've left corporate America?
I left in June 19th, 2014. So 7 years at this point, right? Ish.
And what are you doing now that you're not in corporate America? How are you? What is your goal leaving corporate America to continue to make sure that you're con- continue success?
So about 2 years ago, I've been, like I said, I've been in the finance industry, been in gym
Mhm.
industry, so all these different entrepreneurship opportunities. And about 2 years ago, I sat myself down. I said, "Time out, Josh. What are you really good at? What's your strength? What's your genius? What's the thing you're born with that you do better than anyone else?" All these things. And I took inventory, and then I said, "Okay, how can I provide value to the world in a monetizable way with all these things?" And that's where Identity Archeologist came from. And that's what I play in today. I get to have fun doing what I do best, and people pay me pretty good money to do it. And it helps them move their business and their life forward. So I hate that word. I hate the term win-win, the cliche, but
Yeah.
it really is interesting when you can love what you do and make money at it, which is another lie we're told that you can't do both. But I promise it is very possible. So now, honestly, I almost feel bad because I have lots of fun and I get paid to have fun.
So you took your skills
Yeah.
that you've always had, right, before the
Yeah.
college, and I think that's what I don't want to ever downplay college, but because it's entrepreneurship's not for everyone. Um, but I'm really in agreeing of some people go to college, they spend 40, $50,000 and they make 40, 50,000, right? So they're literally for the rest of their lives. And you talk about the 401k and all this other stuff, like there's really no value there. Um, do you feel that you've always had that skill and that passion, but didn't know how to place them together? Or did you learn it through the 20 years of being corporate office? Because I would never downplay a job either because we learned so much from them. I
Yeah.
learned a lot being, and I always mention Subway, my longest job I've had 8 years, but I learned how to be a leader. Maybe I already had it in me, but it brought it out of me. It showed
Exactly.
me that I was able to do it. It showed me that I was able to manage, to run a business, and all those different things. So, do you think that the 20 years was just more of kind of getting you ready for this moment?
Absolutely. And so there's two things. There's genius and there's expertise. Genius is what you're born with. It's like you just do it, wake you up 3 o'clock in the morning, you could do it, no problem. Expertise is things that you spend a lot of time and effort to build up. And the awareness piece about, letting some of that stuff out of you. So when growing up, I was taught to suppress my genius, to hide it, to be ashamed of it, because who am I to stand out? Keep your head down, Josh. Just do what you're supposed to do. Follow orders, right? So I had to suppress all that, and it wasn't until towards the end of my corporate America career, that I was like, stop it. Stop suppressing this. You've got stuff that you should be able to bring to this world, and you need to
Mhm.
recognize it. And I had to stop being shy about it. See, I want people to go from shy to shine. I want them to add that
Yeah.
little "ne" at the end, right?
I like
I
it.
want them,
Yes.
I want them to let that stuff out because we are way too shy. Literally our greatness gets beaten out of us. It gets beaten down deep, deep, deep. So someone's got to come along and dig that stuff up. That's what I do. We got to dig all that greatness up. We got to dust off all the conditioning, all the crap like, oh, honey, there's no money in that. That bullshit we were told from our parents and
Yep.
society and school. And then we got to polish it and refine it until it shines so bright. People come from miles around to see your value, to see your gold, your gift. That's
So
my mission.
that was my question. I was gonna, and you kind of elaborated a little bit on it, but my question was, you mentioned that someone told you to hide that genius in you. Did it come from home? Was it the friends? Was it relationship wise? Where was the negativity coming from? Because in reality, it's a lot of negative that's put in our minds, and we grow with that. I mean, not grow out of it. So where was that coming? Where was that feeling from?
I think it was coming from all directions, honestly. In society, we're not supposed to brag. So we're in a society where bragging you're not supposed to do. So kind of keep your voice down, inside voice. It came from parents. It came from school. Uh, you watch TV and you see people that brag. They're looked upon like poorly. And I'm not saying we
Yeah.
should go out there and just brag and just like boast about ourselves, but we have to accept our greatness and be okay with sharing it. And it's different than bragging, but it kind of gets all confounded. We're just kind of trained to like do what your obedience, right? That was the big thing. We're
Yep.
taught to obey, and that's unfortunately the wrong thing we should be teaching people, especially at a young age.
So leaving your job, did you also get that type of conversation with people? Like, are you crazy? Is this really what you want to do?
Of course. If you don't get people asking you if you're crazy when you do something big, you're not doing something big. Sorry, you're just not doing the right thing. So yeah, everyone thought it was pretty nuts because I was multi six figures. I had it made, stock options, right? I had a great job, and yeah, people thought I was crazy. But here's the thing: it's kind of like, I hate to use the cliche of the Matrix, but when you start seeing the code in the
Uh-huh.
Matrix, you can't unsee it. You can't just pretend that everything's going to be okay. It's like, now that you see it everywhere, and you can't sit still. There was no option for me, right? You can't unring the bell, so to speak. I saw the code in the Matrix. I saw the glitches in the Matrix. I was like, I can't just sit here. I can't pretend anymore.
So going through everything that you went through now, you've it's just a great story, man. Like when you think about someone that spent 20 years in corporate America, had everything that they probably needed to be happy, um, but wasn't really happy. Were you happy?
I thought I was. I didn't know what happiness was, though, honestly. I was happy
Mm.
in the definition of other people's happiness, right? Have a nice house, cars, get to vacation once a year. Like, I didn't have the right definition of happiness. It was someone else's definition. So, no, I
Yeah.
wasn't.
So now that you are happy, what makes Josh happy? What brings Josh happiness now? Is it the freedom?
It's the freedom. And happiness is not a thing you get anyways. It's just a state of being.
Yeah.
So for me, happiness and success are kind of related. It's moving closer and closer to a predetermined worthwhile goal. That's that. So progress is happiness. It's not the destination. People think you get to this point like, once I have $1 million, then I'll be happy. No, that's not how it works. You don't just hit this goal, because I promise you get to the $1 million. If that's what you think is going to make you happy, it ain't going to work. But the process of knowing you're waking up every morning, you're doing the right thing, you have good intentions, and you're moving towards a worthwhile goal, that in itself is the state of being happy. That is what, to me, what happiness truly is.
So let's talk about, all right, so that's happiness, success. Now that you've been on both sides, if you can break down success in three key words on how you got to that part of your life, in three key words, what would that be?
Okay. One, and this is two words, but it's one concept, is mental toughness. A second one, I would say clarity. So, mental toughness, clarity, and conviction. Those would be my three words. So, clarity means you know what, you can see clearly exactly what the finish line looks like, where you're going, where you're headed, your vision. Conviction means you're all in. It's authentic. It's true to you. It's not something that's not just a script, or it's not just a fake facade thing that you just like, I think this is what I want. No, you really went internal, and you're convicted in what you do. You're on a mission. And then mental toughness. So when the shit hits the fan, you just don't quit. Because the key, it's on my arm here too, Incipe numquam cesseris. In Latin, it means start, don't quit. In fact, those are the three words I would probably, if I had to redo this segment, I would probably say, you give me three words. It's the secret to success: start, don't quit. That's it.
So you talk about mental toughness. I think it's deep, right? Because mental toughness, if not if not in the right mindset, can break somebody. It could really break someone. And I think for you, you were building mental toughness for those 20 years so that when it was time for you to get out and do your own thing, you've never looked back. You started and never quit, as you would say. So I mean, those are three good things. So someone that is on the fence of wanting to know, because they're listening to Josh now, they're hearing Josh, they're on the fence of, should I get this 9 to 5 job that pays me six figures, or should I chase my passion? What is your advice?
Oh, there'd be so much advice for that person. I'd have more questions, but here's something that they can do that I think would be a good start. And it's an activity. So here's a little life hack, let's call it. I would have that person sit down and write their ideal eulogy. What exactly are people going to say about them when they're no longer physically here with us? And I mean details, like
Yep.
not that Efrain had a beautiful smile and he always made people laugh. No, not that superficial shit. I'm talking the real. I'm talking about the stuff, the legacy stuff that's left behind when a person goes,
Yeah.
but their impact stays behind. What was that? Was it a foundation? Was it a company? And then I want to know a couple of people, make up, like fictional, make up a couple of people, and I want them to talk about where they were before they met you and where they were after they met you and the transformation you helped them with. And I want them, in their own words, to say that, before I was in this place, it was a really dark, bad place. And then I met a friend, and then all of a sudden, I worked with him on this and he helped me with this. And now my contribution to the world is this. Like if someone can put together this ideal eulogy, and then like who would speak it and what would that look like and who would show up, start with that. Then every decision you make from now until the day you die better be in alignment with that eulogy. It better move you closer to that eulogy. And if it doesn't, don't do it. So then my question to that person would be, that 9 to 5 job, does that move you closer to this ideal eulogy? If the answer is no, don't do it. If the answer is yes, go for it. That simple.
That's deep. That was free game right there. If you guys listen, that is free game that he just gave you guys. So definitely write this down. All right, rewind if you need to. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good. Okay, so I guess the next question would be, if you can go back in time, say just 10 years, what would you tell that Josh that was in corporate America?
Yeah, because I was still in corporate America.
It was somebody that told you that kind of sparked your mindset to think differently. What would you tell yourself now, though?
These are interesting questions when I get asked this, because I know if I change the past, I may not be the same person today, and that kind of worries me a little bit because I like what I am today. However, what I would probably do is try and accelerate things a little bit. So I would say, where I took that time out a couple of years ago to completely reassess my value, I would have moved that further, closer, maybe 10 years ago, do that, so that I would have been playing in my genius, my value, my purpose for that much longer. I just would have accelerated that process to get to where I am today.
So you ideally would have probably asked yourself those questions that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay. And it seems like you've moved so far from that corporate world. You're at a place of happiness. You're successful now, without corporate America. 5 years from today, where is Josh? What is his ideal life in 5 years? Where would he want to be? What would he have wanted to have accomplished in 5 years?
Yeah, I've got 50,000 people in my programs, because let me tell you something, my heart still goes out to people in corporate America. Just because I've been removed from it and I've escaped, I have a responsibility now to help other people do the same. I don't feel it's right to like, hey, I'm free now. See you guys. Adios. Ciao. No. I have this responsibility now on my shoulders to give other people the same chance that I had. And so that's my next 5, 10, 15, 30, 100. I'm not planning on dying, but that's a different conversation. So I don't put time limits on things. I'm purpose driven. And then when it ends, but I'm not planning on it. So yeah, it's getting more people, and it's the wake up call, right? Getting more people to realize that they have more value than what they think, and help them do whatever they need to do with it. Bring that to the world. I want to bring humanity back to business. I don't want these to be separate anymore. Business and emotions don't mix, and all this bull crap we're told in business school. I want to break all those myths, and I want to give people a chance to be human and be successful and profitable.
So you say you have all these people in your program. A lot of them mostly maybe in the corporate world. What are some things, so those that may be interested, what are some of the things that you're teaching these individuals?
Teaching them how to be themselves, how not to be professional, how not to sell. We get so caught up in selling. I have to remind people, stop selling. The reason you're not making money is because you're trying to sell. Stop selling, start sharing. Here's the dirty secret they won't teach you in business school, in case anyone is in business school right now or in entrepreneurship. People buy you first, your product or service second. And if they don't buy you first, they're never going to touch your product or service, no matter how good it is, no matter how much they need it. So I help people. So I want people.
Can you say it again? That was good.
Yes.
So
People buy you, be authentic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before they buy your product.
That's right. They always.
If you guys didn't write that down, you might want to go back and write that down.
Yeah, what do they teach in business school though, right? They teach in business school, sell your product, make your product unique. Let me tell you something. Your product is not unique. I don't care who's listening to this. I don't care if you're selling insurance. I don't care if you're selling real estate. I don't care if you're a business coach, a life coach, a whatever, a dog walker. Whatever you're doing, it's not unique. You're selling a commodity, and someone can come along and do it better, faster, cheaper. The only thing unique about what you're doing is you. Your story, your stand, your mission, the reason you get out of bed in the morning. That is the only thing unique about what you do. So why not lead with it? Why not bring that out to the forefront of your message? Why not sell that first? And then everything else falls in line behind it about your products.
Josh, you're good, man. I'm so happy that you left corporate America to do this, man. You're so good at this, bro.
I had to, man. I had to.
Look what you've been holding on to all these years, Josh. Listen, people that are watching.
It's never too late.
It's never that's another one. It's never too late. So if you're watching this, no matter where you're at in your life, whether you're successful, whether you're thinking about success, whether you're just leaving high school, take the knowledge that is really being fed from Josh. Because I think that is the question that people ask. Am I too old? Should I do this? I don't have enough money. Is this the route I wanted to take? So, I mean, obviously this platform shows a little bit of everyone. I want to kind of go back though. What was was there some struggles through your upbringing that you've experienced?
Probably nothing too traumatic, honestly. I was just very middle class, very average. Maybe just being shy, honestly, just really being introverted. Didn't play organized sports. I just kept to myself, more of the analytical left brain side person. So I look back and I wish I was more open. I wish I tried more things. I was just very shelled, very, very closed off to the world. And, so I'm changing that, by the way. I'm going like the exact opposite. I think I told you before we started, next weekend, I'm going to be in Mexico City at 10,000 feet running a 13-mile obstacle course race. Who the heck does that? That's crazy. Yeah. So I fly airplanes, I brew beer, all kinds of stuff. I'm just trying to live. I'm trying to catch up.
So what got you into, because I think it's important, what got you into wanting to really take your body to the next level? That's really what it is, right? Is it the mindset part of it that you would say, or it was just something I wanted to live more freely? Because I'm in the place where working out, I've done it for the mental, to understand consistency, as well as when you feel good, everything else shows with that. Why did you start to pick? Because this is not your first. You've done Spartan races. So for those that don't know, he's done Spartan races multiple times. You were at a ninja gym. I remember you reaching out to me months as well, saying, "Come on to the ninja gym." Why are you? Is there a meaning behind? Or is there a reason behind putting your body through all this?
So I'm gonna switch. Well, I'm gonna switch around what you said there a little bit, because I think everybody wants a high performance body, mind, soul, spirit. I really do. Everybody wants that. So what I'm racing in order to get that. So I don't think the question is, why do I want that? Because I think everybody wants to be in better shape. They want to feel better. Mm-hmm. They want to do better. It's just, I'm willing to pay the price. I'm willing to go and train for these races and go do these races and be accountable to these races. And that's what's allowing my body to achieve higher levels of performance. So my advice to somebody who wants a better body, you don't go to the gym. Don't go work out. Go set a goal first. Go actually have a level of accountability. Go sign up for a race, a 5K, a 10K, an Ironman. Go do bodybuilding. Go join a sport. Do something that requires you to have to go work out, to have to go spend the time and energy, to have to be dedicated. Not the other way around. People get all mixed up. Like, I just need to go to the gym to get in better shape. I'm like, nope, it ain't going to work, because you're going to let yourself off the hook. You have no reason to. You got to turn your want-tos into have-tos.
Your want-tos into have-tos. Yes. Did y'all get that? Want-tos into have-tos.
It's the only way you're going to do it. Yeah.
Well, listen, I don't want to hold you up too much. Before we go, though, it's the $1 million question. What was that know your worth moment that you knew, this is what I'll be doing for the rest of my life?
I think that was my first client under what I'm doing now. We all need validation, right? We all need someone to tell us we're doing a good job and this is the right thing. When I saw the response, when I helped my first client and I saw how it changed her life, how it changed her business, I was like, yeah, this is it. I actually have something here, right? And that's a special moment. And I hope everyone who's listening, if you're going to start a business, don't worry about getting 10,000 clients right now. Focus on the first client and giving your all to that first client, giving all your value. And then you'll see what you're worth, right? It'll come shining right back at you. And I think that was a special moment, because that kind of was the launching point that says, holy crap, I got something here. I got something that everyone else needs to hear. And it just made me so much more excited and confident and convicted in what I'm doing.
I love it, man. That was that know your worth moment. I love it. I definitely do. Let people know how they can reach you, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, website, if they needed to know more about your services, what you do as a business owner. Where can they find this information?
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn are my top ones. I'm the only one with my name, Josh Zepess, so you'll see me under that, or Identity Archeologist, or go to my website, joshzepess.com. Very simple.
And all that information, we'll put it in the description, so you guys don't have to go looking too far for it. But you can just go down the description. You'll find the information. Reach out to him. You've already seen how many people? You said 50,000 people in this course now.
In the next 5 years, that's my goal.
Oh, okay, that's the next goal. So you could be one of those 50,000 people to make half of them achieve that goal. So that's it. But Josh, man, it's been a pleasure, man. It's always a pleasure speaking to you. I love what where you came from, how you talk to, still going back to the corporate world to kind of throw that rope out and carry people out on your back through just what you've done. You're not sitting here really selling them a fake story. You truly have lived this story. You have done all your homework, your research. So amazing props to you, man. Continue to be great. Continue to be amazing. And do great in Mexico City, man.
Yes, we'll do. And thank you for having me and let me share. And if anyone in your audience wants to reach out and have a quick conversation, I'm happy to do that. And happy to answer any questions too, because I know there's people out there struggling. There's people out there that still, they want to escape the rat race, so to speak. Yeah. So if I can help them, not talking about charging or services or product. I mean, just a friendly voice, a different perspective, a little bit of inspiration, then I'm happy to do so.
I appreciate it. So guys, that was Josh. This has been Know Your Work TV. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget, there's more videos that you guys can watch. You guys got to go tune in. There's other people just like Josh that are entrepreneurs that have overcome the obstacles just like you. You might be somewhere in your life that you need that inspiration, that empowerment. You need to be uplifted. This is that platform, Know Your Work TV. I'll see you on the next episode.